So say we all.
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 Hello everyone and welcome to the far side of the moon, your one and only beloved colony on the known part of the universe. And we're on Monday, starting a new week, and there's less than 1 week left for the new expansion Way of the Witcher. And I think it's gonna be time to start reviewing the cards. I think more than half of the cards revealed so far. Yeah, we planned to do this in the previous week, but I think this is gonna be the best time to do that. Hey Fiero, welcome mate. This is gonna be on YouTube too, so you're welcome back, by the way. I think it's gonna be a very long time since the last upload, maybe more than 3 months, I don't know. But definitely after this expansion, we're gonna have so much new stuff to, I don't know, for new videos, for new uploads. So let me see, there are gonna be, probably most of you know anyway, there are gonna be 70 cards in total, 10 for each faction and 10 for neutrals too. So we're gonna start with neutral ones. Okay, enough talk. Let's see. We're gonna start with neutrals, and the first card is a token. Unfortunately, it's not a card. It is Witcher Student. Like all tokens, it's gonna have, of course, 0 provision and 2 body. It's gonna be doomed to. Every faction, it seems, gonna have a special card that create Witcher tokens, Witcher Student tokens. I think so far, I don't know, I guess I saw two special cards, one for NR, one for Skellige. And when we're gonna review those cards, we're gonna turn to this token again. Hey Ezras, how are you mate? Having a nice day, I hope. So, the first neutral card is Berengar, it's a Witcher of course. It's an epic card by the way. 6 provision and 9 body. So what is the thing about of this card? At the end of your turn, destroy this card if it is the only Witcher on this row. So first, it checks end of your turns. Okay, we talked about this. It is like Caldwell, right? Wait till you see Big Boy SK. Okay, we're gonna see that. We're gonna see that. It is like Caldwell. It checks this thing at the end of your turns. So, if you can play a Witcher card always to the same row of Berengar, you are safe. Because your opponent can try to kill that Witcher, the only other Witcher in that row, or can try to move that Witcher to the other row. But always you're gonna have your turn, you have enough time to add another Witcher to the same row. So, as soon as you have enough Witchers in your hand, you are safe. You can still play this in your last say, if you have already a Witcher in the same row. And think about it, I said that every faction gonna have a special card that create Witcher tokens. So this kind of token is gonna be amazing too for Berengar. And Berengar is neutral, so you can play with any faction. And to be honest, 946 is amazing because it is most of the times it is easy to control the situation, I guess. The thing here though, 9 body means your opponent can always get rid of this card with the help of either Geralt Vanilla or Geralt Professional too, because you know everything taller than 8 gonna be target for Witchers. But of course also in the game, after this expansion, Leo gonna be amazing too, because you can destroy every kind of Witcher with the help of Leo, right? Triangle Team, yeah, I saw that card. And calling to it, they probably think that, right? Okay, wait for a second. So, it's a spell, the next card. It's an epic one too with 9 provision. Triangle within a triangle to add. Boost an ally by its provision cost or damage an enemy by its provision cost. It's gonna be amazing. Why it's gonna be amazing? Think about it. I always card this kind of versatile cards, like two-sided swords, right? It can be nice with some defensive plays, and it can be still good with offensives too. We like Vivian Oriella, for example, in our latest decks, right? We are playing Vivian Oriella with Dandelion, because Dandelion has 4 body but 12 provision. Like Vivian Oriella, this is gonna boost with provision cost too. So for example, you can just use this spell if you have Dandelion, it's gonna be 12 for 9, right? So most of the cards gonna have amazing provision costs. You're gonna have mostly 10, 11, sometimes 12 provision cost units in your deck anyway. So when it comes to play defensive, you're gonna always get value. But then sometimes it's gonna be amazing removal too. And think about it, when you spend 9 provision for removals, it can take the place for Rock Slide, for example. Rock Slide has 8 damage, right? And for 8 provision, this is gonna be 9. But think about this. For example, you can kill most of the order cards like Stefan, Damien. Think about it. They're gonna have lower body than their provision cost. But of course, you can kill them with Thunder too. But if your opponent is playing with some kind of like Imperial Formation, boost this kind of order cards. Or think about it. If your opponent play, what was the monster's ability? Carapace, right? Think about Carapace. Your opponent boosts Celticulus, for example, 9 body Celticulus to 12 with Carapace. It's gonna be a Veil, not immune. And Celticulus has 13 provision. You can still kill Celticulus after your opponent spent 1 leader ability on Celticulus 2 with this spell. It's gonna be amazing removal too, to be honest. Because it's gonna be an option against leader abilities too. And I don't know, it's gonna definitely see some play. And yes, damage or boost, that's it. That's the thing. Versatile cards that you can change your play in different situations. I like those kind of cards at most, to be honest. Okay, next neutral card gonna be a meme one, Cosimo Malaspina. It's gonna be a legendary card with 5 body, 9 provision. With deploy, you're gonna transform adjacent units, like right and left one, into random units that cost 1 provision more. This is tricky, to be honest. It is good as a meme card, but other than meme decks, it is not easy to find place. Why? Think about it. We saw some example for this card with Witcher's Trio, okay? You know, Witcher's Trio, every 3 of them has 8 provision. So when you play Cosimo between 2 of them, you're gonna just transform them into random 9 provision cards. But this kind of random stuff means you're not gonna get always so much good value, because 9 provision cards have also Knickers 2 with 3 body, right? They're gonna have Gales with 2 body for 9 provision, for example. And we are gonna see Owlers too next in a couple of next cards. Those kind of random provision cards gonna have really weird pools. Especially if it is 8, 9 or 5 provisions, the pools are so huge and you cannot expect every time you're gonna get high body targets. It is good as meme card. Every expansion needs this kind of cards too, I guess, because that's the way of the game, keep fresh. But other than meme stuff, it's just gonna be a meh one, to be honest. Double Spear Tap. I mean, think about it. If you play, yeah, I mean, what is the 11 provision cost cards that you can play between, for example? Damien is 11 provision. After using order, you can try to turn it. And yes, in 12 provision costs, but think about it, 12 provision pool. There is Old Spirit with 12 body, but there's also Dandelion with 4 body, right? The gap is amazing. It is so huge that, and random means it is just good for Dandelion show, I guess. And maybe you can try to turn. Yeah, it's gonna be weird. It is always so random, to be honest. Okay, next one is a Witcher again. Geralt Quinn. That was the missing Witcher ability, right? Our Geralt card. It is legendary, of course, 2 body, 10 provision, like Igni. It has shield. With deploy ability, play a Witcher card from your deck. So Quinn, Geralt Quinn, is a tutor card for every kind of Witcher card in game, right? And it is neutral, so you can use this tutor in every single of your decks. But we are seeing a new mechanic here, Adrenaline. What means Adrenaline? Let's talk about it first. Adrenaline means number of cards you have in your hand after playing your recent card. For example, Adrenaline 3 means you have 4 cards in your hand and you play Geralt, and as soon as you play Geralt, you have 3 cards in your hand. And Adrenaline 3 means you can do this like this, or you can play it while you have 3 cards in your hand, so Adrenaline gonna be 2, or you have 2 cards in your hand, so Adrenaline gonna be 1. So when you play like this with Adrenaline 3, you can give it a shield. You can give a shield to the Witcher you are gonna play from your deck. If it's an order card, you can try to keep it safe against damages, right? I will like we're gonna see a lot of Adrenaline cards. We're gonna see that, and I don't like this new mechanic. Why? Because The Witcher, the Gwent card game, Gwent is all about try to play every card in right sequences, right? Trying to make your combos in a 10 card round, for example. At the same time, trying to stop your opponent's combos, play sequencing. Try to stop its order cards, sometimes try to stop him getting future values. At the same time, you try to create something for you to get more value. So Adrenaline means you're gonna always try to keep that in mind too, because some cards is good when you play in the first part of the round, and some cards gonna be later in that round. And this is gonna affect the sequencing both for your plays or both stopping your opponents, and it's gonna add extra depth to the round of Gwent, to be honest. And for me, that's what about Gwent is, to be honest. Other than random throw of cards, just sequencing your whole round, whole match, to be honest, while also keeping in mind your opponent's deck and plays too. And Adrenaline is one of the best, I guess, we're gonna see it in action too, of course. I think one of the best mechanics in game added so far, to be honest. I am really excited about Adrenaline mechanic. We have one more neutral here too, by the way, and we already can play this card. You can already craft and play Alzur. It is legendary, 6 body, 11 provision. It is human and mage. Whenever you play a spell card, spawn a random unit with the same provision cost in this row, and it's counter 3. Counter means like, you can say it like charges, but because you're not spending it with your order ability, but you're spending it with playing some other cards, it named counter, okay? It is a new thing, I guess. We didn't have any counter cards so far. So while also on board without any luck on it, whenever you play a spell card, you're gonna spam random unit with same provision cost of that spell card, and you can only get this with 3 spells. As you know, there's one reset card in game, Mandrake. Mandrake means you can just reset the card from its original state. So after playing, for example, 3 spells, if you play Mandrake on Alzur, you can have new 3 counters too, but it's not gonna work it, of course, because you cannot have, I don't know, most times you can have up to 5 spell cards, I guess, in your deck, and that's gonna be enough probably. So one of the best spell cards for Alzur, of course, the top one is Honoramancy. Honoramancy is a spell with, 13 provision, and 13 provision has just 5 cards pool. That's one of the best play, but unfortunately, one of them is, for example, one of the 13s is Celticulus with 9 body. It is a good one. One of them is 5 body card. One of them is 6 body card. There was one 13-2, by the way. What was that? Ah, you have Regis. You have Regis with 13 provision too. So 1 out of 5 you can get Regis when you play Honoramancy 2. So even with 5 card pool, as you can see, 9, 9, 6, and 2 kind of pool means you don't know what to get. But at the same time, when you play, for example, 5 provision Alzur's Thunder, there's a possibility that you can get 7 body 5 provision cards too, thanks to monsters. And in the last expansions, mostly we get some 7, even 8 body 5 provision cards. So time to time, even 5 provision spell can be better than higher provision spells. We saw that with, for example, 9 provision cards too. We play Curse of, don't forget Spirit Tip. Yes, the highest one Spirit Tip. Yeah, right. For a second I thought that was 12, but you are right. The 5th card is Spirit Tip. So the highest value you can get is 12 with Spirit Tip, and low one is 2 with Regis when you play 13 provision Honoramancy, and others are if I remember correctly, Calculus with 9, and there's 1 5 and 1 6 provision cards, if I remember correctly. For example, with 9 too, when we play Curse of what was the name of that card? Curse of Corruption? It wasn't Corruption, I guess. Kill the highest unit on board. It is like Scorch, but only kills the highest unit. Like Scorch without playing any other card. When you play that, you can get Knickers too, or with 10 provision spell you can get Roach too. So it is so random, and think about that. It is good against meme again, as a meme card. We tried this with some Gord Scoia'tael deck. We had some fun, that's for sure. But if your opponent can give an answer, even with a luck, for example, right? You just play 6. You just get 6 value for 11 provision, and that's really not worth it. And if your original list doesn't have a defender, just adding defender for Alzur, that's gonna be really unnecessary spend of provision too. So again, it's just gonna be meme, but think about it. After the Alzur's journey, just using Alzur Sikin, playing in an Alzur board, if you pre-order this cool expansion, playing Alzur, that's gonna be nice, fun, I guess. But other than that, it's just gonna be meh card for me, to be honest. Okay, now we're gonna go for monsters. And as we can see here, we only have 5 cards revealed so far. So let's check the first monster card. It's gonna be Hybrid, a beast and mutant. It is 4 provision card with 4 body. Whenever you consume 1 or more units, boost self by 1. There is one thing I'm not sure about this explanation. 1 or more units. For example, you play, let's say what? You play Barghest, okay? You consume a card, so Hybrid gonna consume it 1, right? Consume itself 1. That's for sure. But let's think, you play Kikimor Warrior or Worker, the card that consumes both adjacent units, right? So when you play that consume card and consume 2 units in the same time, okay? It is same for also Glusty too, right? When you play Glusty, you consume a lot of units at the same time. It's gonna boost itself 1, right? Because it say 1 or more units. Yes, it's gonna boost itself by 1. So you can say that whenever you play a consume card, it's gonna boost 1. Most of the times. I mean, I know we have some 6 provision, 6. Well, what was the name of that card? Consume with order. What was the name of that card? Like Ran Warrior? No, it is not like Ran Warrior. We tested previous week. When Ran Warrior on board, if you play Calculus, Ran Warrior boosts itself 1 for every single consumed unit. Because in its explanation, it say boost yourself whenever you consume a unit. That's the difference. If it says whenever you consume unit, it boosts himself for every single unit, even if they consumed in the same time. Barbegazi, thank you, Ezras. I was talking about that, yeah. But when it says consume 1 or more units, it means it doesn't matter you consume one unit or more unit in the same time, it's gonna boost itself by 1. Yes, thank you. So that's the difference, because we're gonna see another card like this. That's gonna be a dilemma for 2, but I think this is how it works because of the 1 or more units kind of explanation. It is a good for 4 provision card, of course, by the way. But we see that mostly with the new expansion, all the cards we saw with 4 provision, most of the times they get 7 value, right? So to reach that standard, you need to consume 3 units after playing Hybrid, so it can be 7 for 4. So it is just a mediocre card, I guess. Yeah, I'm gonna talking about that. I'm gonna talking about that too. That's why I'm trying to understand 1 or more units concept with this card, to be honest. That seems amazing. Okay, spontaneous evolution. It's gonna be an organic special card. Yeah, I know. It's gonna be an organic with special. It's gonna be 5 provision, as you can see. So, boost an allied unit by 4 and gain an additional effect based on unit's category. So, you get 4 for 5. That's for 100% certain. And if you use to boost an insectoid, you're gonna spawn 3 drones on boosted units row 2. So it's gonna be 7 for 5. If you boost a beast, you're gonna boost that unit not 4 but 8. So it's gonna be 8 for 5. If you boost an Ogreate by 4, you're gonna give all other Ogreates in your hand 2 armor. So it seems you're gonna get the best value with a beast, right? If you boost the beast, it's gonna be 8 for 5. It's just nice. But if you have some synergies with organic cards too, it's gonna be amazing. If you play this with Orca's Swarm, for example, you're gonna get extra value too, and it's gonna be a good 5 provision card, I guess. Let's see, Puka. It's gonna be a great, for example. You can give, for example, think about that. You can give armor to Puka if you want. If you this Puka in your hand and choose to boost an Ogreate on board, you can give 2 armor to this with evolution card. So this is 4 body 5 provision card with 1 armor. You have Wheel and Thrive. Units played by your opponent gonna trigger this unit's Thrive ability, not the cards you play. So if your opponent is gonna play 5 after this, it's gonna get a Thrive, 6, 7, 8, it's gonna go like that. So maybe your opponent try to play some tallest cards earlier than shorter ones. So those other shorter cards cannot trigger this Puka's Thrive ability, right? So maybe just playing with this card, you can change your opponent's play of sequences. For example, think about it. If you can make him play a tall card earlier, and if you have a tall removal in your hand, maybe that way you can get value. Definitely gonna affect your opponent's plays, and it's gonna be nice. And we talk about this too. Fiero says that he mentioned that a card in Gwent could be nice. A Thrive card can be triggered by opponent plays, and it seems somebody think about that too. Help keep Nilfgaards alive with armor or make your defender even better. Yeah, you can think about that too. But think about this. I mean, if you keep Nilfgaards for future, you can do that in the first round, because to give Nilfgaards armor, you need to play an Ogreate first to the board and then play evolution. So it means at least you can play your Nilfgaards in the 3rd turn, right? You need to play Ogreate in the first, then evolution, then Nilfgaards. So you're gonna lose 4 Thrive on Nilfgaards, but you're gonna turn your Nilfgaards into larvas, so it can be still good. There's a catch here, by the way, Ezra. There's a catch here because you're gonna only give 1 Nilfgaard armor. The second one not gonna have armor. So first Nilfgaard gonna have 1 body, 2 armor, and spawn Nilfgaard gonna have only 1 body. So it's just gonna be meh, I guess. Hey Quinn, how are you? How was the tournament on the weekend, by the way? So is it worth it for Nilfgaards? Maybe, if you decide that, for example, in the first round you have enough Thrives and you think that, okay, I'm gonna keep this Nilfgaard for second round push, for example. You can try to give it armor if you have defender in your hand too, but otherwise, it's gonna be weird. Scoia'tael Legendary? No, I didn't check the cards revealed today, because we already have a lot of cards to talk about it anyway. It was the card Fiero sent? Okay, I saw that. Yeah, I mean, Fiero mentioned about it. Good for you. You had 2 tournaments. Good. Okay, let's see. Either, I hope I read it right, by the way. It's an Insectoid, epic card, 7 body, 8 armor. It is ordered with Adrenaline 3, by the way. Okay? It is ordered with Adrenaline 3. I mean, think about it. You can play this early too. For example, you have 6 or 7 cards in your hand. If your opponent cannot kill until Adrenaline 3, you can use that order. But it's gonna be a stupid way anyway. But I just make you to try understand the adrenaline way again, because this is not deploy, this is order. You just need to have 3 cards in your hand when you're gonna use this order ability. So if you have 4 cards before playing either, you can just use this. But think about it, order means you need to wait 1 more turn too. So you can play this while you have 5 cards in your hand. You're gonna have adrenaline 4, but anyway, you cannot use order as soon as you play. That means you can wait. But let's check the ability. When you use the order, you're gonna consume all tokens on this row and gain immunity. You're gonna consume all tokens, just tokens. Think about all the insectoid drones. You're gonna consume all of them, and you're gonna gain immunity. Immunity part is amazing because it means your opponent can only kill this with kind of spells like Scorch or Curse of Corruption, if I remember the name correctly, and Igni kind of stuff. So it is amazing. But there's another thing here. After this, not after this by the way, this is not with order ability. This is always gonna work. Whenever you consume 1 or more units, spawn a drone in this row. So this is the thing. This is the thing. Think about this. You play this card while you have 7-8 cards in your hand. Why? Because you want to get value from your order. You want to get more value with your order ability. Because you can wait with your order. I mean, yes, your opponent can lock this. But if you have a defender on board, if you have Purify in your hand, you can play either early. And after that, until Adrenaline 3, with all the consumes you did between playing either and the Adrenaline 3 part, you're gonna get extra drones, you're gonna spawn extra drones, okay, to the same row. And then when the right time comes with Adrenaline 3, you can use the order, consume all of them, boost yourself, and have immunity. You can use it in that way. I think this is the best way to get value from this card. I mean, I'm thinking this. You can have a lot of drones. Then you can play this, consume them to open space, for example. I mean, think about it. If you're playing a spawn deck, sometimes long round trees has a lot of problems, right? Sometimes you fill your board early and not find a place to play extra card. You can even use this for, I don't know, think about it. All the spawns, all the behemoth plays, even Yen, Talisman, Trees, and you play every single thing, and Adrenaline 2, 3, you consume the drones in the row, you open space for your last 2 cards, for example. You can even think like that too, to be honest. It's gonna be nice card. For 8 provision, it's gonna be nice card, I guess. Guerrilla Tactics. I really like movement, by the way, and I think movement suits Scoia'tael amazingly when you think about the faction. Okay, how do you read this card? Koshi? I remember this from the Witcher 1, but I don't remember how we pronounce it, to be honest. Let's say Koshi. It's an insectoid. So, a legendary card, of course. 4 body with 3 armor and 10 provision. It has Thrive. That's the first part. It has Thrive. Second part. Whenever this unit's Thrive is triggered, spawn a drone in this row. Nice. Nice. Yeah, you're right. It's gonna be nice for Frightener too, the Bravest card. That's right. Good info, thank you. So, whenever this unit's Thrive is triggered, we're gonna spawn a drone in this row. Okay. So you play this card early, of course, because it's a Thrive card. So with every next card you play taller than this, you get Thrive triggered and you get extra drone to the same row, by the way. And then the right time comes, Adrenaline 4. Okay. So you have 5 cards in your hand. You are playing your 5th card. As soon as you play it is Adrenaline 4, which means as soon as you play that card, and if it is taller than this card, Thrive is triggered, and as soon as that Thrive is triggered, you're gonna spawn an Endrega larva in that row instead a drone, okay? Which means this time you're gonna spawn another thrive thing. 1 body, 2 armor, and regular larva. And then, when you play your 4th card, you're gonna get thrive from this, and thrive for larva, and you're just gonna spawn another regular larva too. It is amazing. If your hand can give you thrive with every play on Koshi, it's gonna be amazing. It's gonna be amazing. Seriously, even with just loss, I mean, think about it. If your hand is not good enough for extra thrives, because you need to have 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, right? You can think about this. Instead of playing this card early, for just drones, you can just play this card while you have 5 cards in your hand, and then play your 5, 6, 7, whatever as finishers. I mean, the last 3 cards to get thrives and to get larvas, so you can get more value than drone stuff. And according to your hand, you can find the right time to play this card in long round 3, for example. But it's gonna be amazing value. That's for sure. That's for sure. Force of Nature, definitely. It's gonna be really nice with Force of Nature for extra thrive. And if you play Mata, you can get extra card too. Probably extra card can only be good that it's gonna give you extra round length. But the card you're gonna, if you can even get thrive with the card, for example, if you play Old Spirit Tip, and if you get Mata, if you get Old Spirit Tip with Mata, it can be amazing that too, to be honest. If you have 6 cards in your hand and play, because it's gonna be adrenaline. That's the thing. That's the thing. No. This is the thing. Let's talk about this. You have 6 cards in your hand. You play Koshi, so you have 5 cards left, right? Then next turn comes. This time you have 5 cards in your hand. As soon as you play this 5th card, it is Adrenaline 4, and if this gives Thrive to Koshi, you are not gonna get a drone, but you're gonna get a larva. That's the thing. If you want drones too, you need to play Koshi while you have 7 cards in your hand. So seriously, if you have enough bodies I mean, if you just start the round with Koshi, for example, after playing 5, 6, and 7, if your last 6 cards have 8, 9, 10, 11 kind of cards, it's gonna be amazing. It's gonna be amazing, seriously. Thrives gonna be really nice with this, and yes, Force of Nature seems really one of the best option for this card. It's gonna be amazing. Okay, I think we finished monsters too. Yes, so it's gonna be Nilfgaard time for the Great Empire. How many cards we have? 5 here. We have 6 cards. Nice. By the way, the expansion mostly gonna have 1 archetype perfection. We saw that with monsters, it has 2 tribe cards so far. An organic card, kind of. Can we say spawn? I think so. Spawn and tribes kind of archetypes seems. And when it comes to Nilfgaard, we're gonna see that it is about deck manipulation. All the cards gonna be about deck manipulation. Mostly your opponent deck, by the way. Okay, let's start with Viper Witcher Adapt. It's gonna be 4 provision card with 3 body. At the end of your turn, boost up by 1 if opponent has more cards in deck than you. So think about this. How can you get value from this card in the first round, right? Because both decks gonna have 25 cards, right? So your opponent and you gonna have same number of cards in your deck. But also, most of the times, your opponent gonna play a tutor in the first round, right? They're gonna use Honoramancy, for example. They're gonna use Royal Decree maybe, or they're gonna use a Thinning Pack like Wild Hunt Riders, for example, or just Brigades, for example. Or they're gonna have Knickers, Roach in their deck. So it is not gonna be easy. It is not gonna be easy for your opponents to have more cards in their deck than yours, unless you use a lot of thinning too. So yes, you need to use more thinning than your opponent in the first round, so you can get value from Viper Witcher Adapt. You can use this as an engine. But I'm thinking this. Think about it. This is 4 provision card. Has 3 body, right? Has 3 body. So it's gonna have 4 body as soon as you play, if your opponent has more cards, and it can be easily killed. So is this card is better than, for example, Magna Division? This is more conditional, to be honest. But at the same time, if you have more Witcher synergy in your deck, you can do that. Yeah, you can just start, you can have marching orders, Arturus Vigo, brigades, the hunting pack. So, because we're gonna see that. After this expansion, if you want to create this kind of deck manipulation list, you always need to have less cards than your opponent in your deck. You need to focus thinning more than your opponent. And we're gonna see that we're gonna have some cards that adding cards to your opponent top deck, so they're gonna have more cards in their deck too. I mean, just seeing this card as a single card, yes, it is not easy to get value if you have a lot of thinnings, but we're gonna see that because this is about deck manipulation. We're gonna see some cards that adding cards to our opponent's decks too, and I think this is the right time to check. Sorry, before Viper Witcher, let's check this. Sorry. So, Coated Weapons. It is a tactic card. Special, of course, 5 provision. Damage an enemy unit by 5. Nice. Why nice? Because, I mean, now we have exactly 5 damage tactic card. Just think about it. Assassination, good card, definitely, because sometimes you can get 6. But if you're going to play card between 2 cards, you're going to get 4 damage, right? So, exactly, every single time 5 damage tactic card is amazing. Even if you're not going to play this archetype. But if you're going to play, for example, Enslave. So I don't like Coated Weapons. That's the first part though. Death Blow. If you kill that card with 5 damage, you're gonna banish it. And spawn a copy of that on top of your opponent's deck. So think about it. You can use this in the first round. Why? Why we are thinning in Gwent, especially in first rounds? We are thinning because we want to reach our imported cards in the later rounds, round 2 or round 3, right? We want to get higher chances to reach our good gold cards, so we thin in the first round. With Coated Weapons kind of cards, if you just kill and banish some bad bronze cards in the first round, you're gonna spawn a copy of them in your opponent's top deck. And it is top deck, it is not random. Do not mistake it. It is top deck, which means in the beginning of second round, your opponent gonna draw that. And when they draw that, if it's a bad card, if they want to use Mulligan, first, it's gonna stop them to reach their top cards, because they're gonna draw that card first. And when they use Mulligan for that, they're gonna spend one of their 2 Mulligans for a bad card. And that means, instead of seeing top 5 cards in the beginning of round 2, they're gonna see 4 cards. Maybe they're gonna see 3 cards, because you'll keep adding some cards. If you play 2 Coated Weapons, it means instead of seeing top 5 cards from their deck in the beginning of round 2, they're gonna see top 3. And it's gonna be an amazing brick, by the way. All the things you need to do is just trying to find bad bronze cards that your opponent not gonna want in their deck in the first round. Just target them, try to kill them and get that blow, so you banish them and spawn 1 copy of them in their top deck. It's gonna be amazing to stop your opponents reaching their good cards for before round 2 and round 3 mulligans and throws. And the other card, it's gonna be nearly the same thing. Viper Witcher, 5 provision, 4 body. With deploy, you're gonna give bleeding, 2 bleeding to enemy unit. Okay. If you play this with Adrenaline 6, which means if you play this Viper Witcher while you have 7 cards in your hand, Viper Witcher gonna be one of them. You are gonna give that bleeding, but also you're gonna spawn a copy of that unit to your top of your opponent's deck too. So this is easier than Coated Weapons because you don't need that blow. You can just choose whatever you want. If you are playing Viper Witcher in the first rounds, you can just target a bad bronze card to manipulate the top deck of your opponent. But think about this in later rounds, in round 3. I don't know, let's think about it. You're playing against Skellige, I don't know, first thing comes to my mind. You're playing against Skellige, your opponent play Heimdall. Would you like to play a Heimdall? You can play Viper Witcher, but of course you need to be sure that your opponent has no tutors left. For example, if it is Devotion Skellige, you need to be sure that your opponent already played their Blood Eagle, for example, and they do not have any other tutor. I mean, if they are Devotion, they cannot have. In other decks, you need to be sure that your opponent played their Honormancy. They don't have any more tutors too, because the plan is 2 turns. You play Viper Witcher first, choose the best valuable card from your opponent's board, give 2 bleeding, so you're gonna spawn that card top deck, and then when your turn comes again, you're gonna play Cantarella and play that card, for example. So you can play Viper Witcher in 2 different situations. In first rounds, mostly to manipulate your opponent's future draws, and in round 3s or round 2s maybe with Cantarella to play some good gold cards to get more value with Cantarella. To change Cantarella from an inconsistent card to a really good, consistent, nice Uma, for example. It's gonna be perfect Uma. Think about that. So I don't like this new Viper Witcher. By the way, they're gonna change the old Viper Witcher's name. They mentioned the name, but I forget it right now. The other card not gonna be named Viper Witcher after this. Okay, now it is time for Mentor 1. Viper Witcher Mentor. It's gonna have 1 body with 6 provision. With Deploy, you're gonna set power of this card to match provision cost of the top card in your opponent's deck. Okay, wait for a second. So, you don't know normally your opponent's top card, right? But thanks to Viper Witcher, thanks to Coated Weapons, you can send some high provision card to top deck. So you can set the power of Viper Witcher Mentor to that provision cost. You can create 10, 11, 12 provision card top deck, but again, you need to be sure that your opponent cannot play that if that's a good card, right? Your opponent shouldn't have a tutor. And then this is gonna boost itself with that provision. But also there's another situation here, Adrenaline 2. It means while you have 3 cards, Viper Witcher in hand. If you play with Adrenaline 2, you're gonna set power of this card to match provision cost of the highest cost card in your opponent's deck instead. So instead of checking the top deck, it's gonna check the whole deck and find the highest provision cost card and boost itself like that. So if you cannot manipulate the top deck, or just because you don't have Viper Witcher or Coated Weapons in your hand, or maybe because you know that your opponent already have a, for example, they played Honormancy in the first 2 rounds and you know that they have Honormancy in their hand, so you cannot send a good card, high provision card to deck again, create that kind of spawn, that kind of card in their top deck again. So you can wait for Adrenaline 2, so you can play safe Viper Witcher Mentor. This is why also Adrenaline good, right? It gives you variety. You can choose the best possible outcome. It's amazing. Adrenaline mechanics gonna be amazing, seriously. With every card, we can see that better and better, I guess. And another Witcher, Colgrim. 1 body, 9 provision, is an epic card. This only works with Adrenaline 2. If you play this while you have more cards in your hand, it's just gonna be 1 for 9 provision, okay? But when you play with Adrenaline 2, at the end of, by the way, I said this earlier, but I'm gonna say this again too. Adrenaline 2 doesn't mean that you always need to play this while you have 2 cards left in your hand. It can be less cards too, okay? It's the threshold for the highest number of cards in your hand, okay? Keep that in mind. At the end of your turn, boost self by the difference between number of cards in players' decks. So we tin a lot in the round 3, for example. First round, second round, third round, we tin. We have 3, 4 cards left in the deck. And our opponent normally, most of the times, even if they use tinning packages and some tutors, they have 7 or 8 cards. But you manipulate their deck too. You play 2 Viper Witcher, 2 Coated Weapons, at 4 cards too. They have 11 cards, you have 3 cards. So Colgrim gonna boost himself by 8. So it's gonna be 9 for 9. It's gonna be 9 for 5. Yes, you can play this with Syndicate decks too. I mean, 9 provision cards, whenever you check 9 provision, yeah, I think it is normal to think about Syndicate, you are right. So, at first, to get the normal value, I mean, you need to get 9 for 9, right? So the difference should be 8 at least to get nice value to get okay value from Colgrim. But to get better value, you need to have the gap must be more than 9 between your deck and your opponent deck, the cards left in your decks when you're gonna play Colgrim. It's always kind of last 2 card play in round 3, and I want to see. I mean, today in the beginning of stream we talk about commandos because of the new NR card, right? And this can be amazing against triple commandos too, right? In round 3, if they somehow try to keep their commandos for last 3 play, you can just get amazing Colgrim value. That can be amazing, to be honest. Which card are you talking about, Fiero? Sorry. I forget that. You are right. Sorry. I don't know why, but I talk about this card like it has deployability. It is not deploy. This is amazing. We missed that part. You are right. Sorry. At the end of your turn, boost self by the difference of the order. So this is amazing, right? We mentioned that most of the times, if we into 3 and 4, and because of deck manipulation, our opponent gonna have 9, 10, 11 cards. Think about the gap is 7, okay? Because it's gonna be 7 in most cases. 7, 8. It's easy to reach that number, I guess. So you have 3 cards. One of them Colgrim. You play. At the end of your turn, it's boosted himself 7. Okay, it is 8 for 9 right now. If your opponent gives no answer, then when you played your second to last, it's gonna boost himself again. Another 7. So you get 14 boosts so far. And with your last play, it's gonna boost himself again. So it can get 21 boosts, and it can be 22 for 9 if your opponent have no answer. In most cases, it can be really amazing. I said it wrong. I don't know why, but in the first part I mentioned like this is deployable. It is not. It's at the end of your turn kind of ability. It is amazing. It is truly amazing. Yes. Wow. This is huge. Definitely I mean, even right now, toll removals are really popular. Like Hitwave, like even Vanilla Geralt. Yeah. Definitely people need to have. I mean, still, if you are sure that your opponent have 1 toll removal and it's gonna be your only good toll to play, you can still try to, I don't know, maybe play this as last say. It is still gonna be okayish value. It is better to lose this card to get less value than normal. It's still gonna be, for example, 9 for 9. But other than that, if your opponent cannot give an answer, if you have Defender, for example, this is gonna be amazing. Seriously. Wow. Nice. Okay, one last Nilfgaard card. And it is Ivor Evil Eye. It is legendary. The only legendary for Nilfgaard so far, I guess, right? 4 body 10 provision. This is deploy. This time. Swap this unit's power with an enemy unit. So it is like kind of Heim, but with Heim you need to find a damaged unit. And you can use Heim in every card, your own cards too, but this is only with enemy. So it is nice against. I mean, think about it. Even if you can find a 9, right? It is 14 for 10. Yes, it says power. It's not says swap base powers. If you're, I mean, I don't know. Think about this. It is in that case against boosted enemies. This is like also, for example, Regis Higher Vampire. And Regis Higher Vampire has order, by the way. This has no order too. You can play this as finisher, not as finisher. We are gonna talk about that. But this is amazing because think about Hamad Riots, think about against Gords. It's gonna be ridiculously amazing. The downside of this is Adrenaline 2 part. Because with Adrenaline 2, instead of swapping units power with an enemy unit, you are gonna damage enemy by 4. So if you play this as last card, before last card, or as third card in your hand, it's gonna be almost 8 for 10 with 4 damage, 4 body. But yeah, both have Adrenaline 2. So in a Nilfgaard mirror match, unfortunately you cannot use Ivor against Colgrave, but that could be amazing. But yeah, most of opponents gonna have some tall units before you reach Adrenaline 2, I guess, and you still get nice value. Yeah, Bargas. I mean, every monster, most of the monster deck gonna use Bargas, gonna use Hound decks in a way. They're gonna have original tools. I mean, think about this. Even against 9 body unit, it is 14 for 10. Okay, it is easy to find 9 always. Because it is Adrenaline 2, it is not 3, not 4. I mean, you have 6 plays. I mean, you have to play Ivor in your first 6 card, right? So, for example, if you have Lasse, it means you can have 6 different targets for Ivor when your last chance to play Ivor. And if one of them is 9 and taller, you're gonna get amazing value still. It is really nice. It is really nice. Okay, time for NR now. God, this is really slow, right? It's gonna be such a long video for YouTube, I guess. Okay, let's check NR right now. Do we have more cards here? No. Okay, for NR we have just 5 cards so far, so let's check them. First one is Warfare. 4 provision Warfare, by the way, it is good. Target Practice. Boost an allied unit by 4. It is 4 for 4 so far. If there's a Witcher on the boosted unit's row, not on board, on the boosted unit's row, also spawn a Witcher student on that row. We saw the Witcher student, 2 body tokens. Spawn a Witcher student, by the way, which means it can be 6 for 4 if you have Witcher on board, Witcher on that boosted unit's part. It's gonna be nice. It is Warfare, it has synergy with Warfares. Also you can use Tutor for this, as you know, right? 6+ resupply. Yes, if you have I mean, I don't know, just because we have 2 new Warfare cards, if resupply can find play in the game, but yeah, can get more than 6 with resupply stuff too. You are right about that. But most of the times, I guess you're gonna get 6 for 4. That's for sure. Trollolo buff. Yes, for example. Griffin Witcher Adapt. You know, Griffin School for NR. So it is another 4 provision card with 4 body, has shield, and it has order ability. Okay, I remember this card. So with order, you're gonna transform an allied Witcher into base copy of Griffin Witcher Adapt. Base copy means that's gonna have order, the same order ability too, and gonna have same shield too. So think about this. You play a Witcher, then you play target practice on that Witcher even. You're gonna get a Witcher Adapt, right? So we have 2 body Witcher Adapt, then you play Griffin Witcher Adapt. Okay? You play this, if your opponent cannot lock this, cannot kill this, and because of order it's not gonna be easy to kill, you're gonna turn that 2 body Witcher token into Witcher Student into Griffin Witcher Adapt. And you can play another target practice too, because you can have 2 target practice in your deck. So you can have another food, kind of food, for Griffin Witcher Adapt too. If this is the only card that give you Witcher tokens, at best you can have 2 good targets for Griffin Witcher Adapt. But also, I don't know if they have a plan to maybe buff the Witcher's Trio, by the way, because think about it, Witcher's Trio have 2 bodies. Instead of 8 provisions, if they have, for example, 7 provisions or maybe 6, Because still, I mean, 8 provision is ridiculously so much. Even 7, it is hard to fit them. But if they have 6 body, 6 provision maybe, it's gonna be 18 provision to get 6 with thinning. It can be amazing because you can use Witcher's Trio with Griffin Witcher Adapt too. It can be a really nice target for Griffin Witcher Adapt. If they buff Witcher's Trio, that's gonna be amazing, to be honest. But still, if you have a lot of Witchers, other Witchers too, and for example, we have 2 body Witchers, 3 body Witchers, right? Neutral Witchers too. For example, we have Geralt Quinn, right? Geralt Quinn has 2 body. It's a Witcher tutor also. You can use that too to use with Griffin Witcher Adapt, for example. And if your other Witchers gonna get damage, get health below 4, you can still get value with Griffin Witcher Adapt too. It's gonna be nice for provision card. It is 5 provision anyway. I mean, yes, it has order, so, but even if you just turn 1 2-body token into 4, it is 6 for 4, and it is, most of the times it is enough to get 6 value from 4. So it's gonna be a nice addition. And we need to see other Witcher cards that we can use in NR, and if we have other, I don't expect, but if we have some cards that create spawn Witcher tokens. Okay, now 5 provision card with 4 body, Griffin Witcher. It has order ability, but you need to play onto the melee row, to the front row. You are gonna damage an enemy unit by 1, and it has cooldown 1, so it's an engine, but with order. But when it comes, Adrenaline 3, okay, think about it. You have 3 cards in your hand, you use your order, you give that 1+1 damage to, and then at the end of your turn, when you pass for that turn, it's gonna damage a random enemy by 3 and lock self. So, think about it. 10 card round 3 or 10 card round 2, whatever. You play this as first card. You get 1 value here, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? 6 damage. Then 3 random damage. You get 9 damage with 4 body. It is 13 for 5. 13 for 5 if your opponent cannot get rid of this with lock or removal. 13 for 5. Stupidly amazing. And I don't know, can we give Veil with any kind of NR card? I don't know. But if you can do that too, wow. Better than Veil, by the way. Ah yes, Veil is amazing because after Adrenaline 3, at the end of your turn, it's gonna also deal 3 random damage while trying to lock itself. That's gonna be amazing. That's gonna be amazing, to be honest. Crystal Skull. Yes, it's gonna be amazing with Crystal Skull in the first rounds. You're fucking right. This is gonna be amazing with Crystal Skull in the first rounds. That's the right thing. It's especially on blue coins. It's gonna be amazing. It can be round-winning stuff, to be honest. Griffin Witcher Mentor. 5 provision, 5 body. All the revealed cards for NR so far, 4 and 5 provisions, and probably this is gonna be 4 or 5 too. As we can see, it is ordered. So let's check this. With Deploy, you're gonna draw the top unit from your deck, then you're gonna shuffle a card from your hand back to your deck. It's not gonna be top deck, you're gonna shuffle that card, by the way. And you're gonna draw top unit, yeah. There's no way in NR that you can choose your top card, right? Pincer Maneuver. Pincer Maneuver shuffle card to your deck too after drawing top card, right? So yeah, but I don't know, if you think this is important, you can maybe play Fisher King kind of stuff. There's another good part here, by the way. With Adrenaline 4, you can boost the card you draw by 2. I mean, I don't know if it is a good idea to have, for example, Fisher King in your deck, but with Fisher King, for example, you can top deck your Prince, then you can play the Griffin Witcher Mentor with Adrenaline 4, so you are gonna draw the Prince, you are gonna boost it by 2, so even with formation to the front row, you can have dual Prince with 6 body, right? But I don't know. because there are not much stuff to choose your top card in NR, I think, if I'm not mistaken. So if it is random, it's not gonna mean anything. It's just a draw a card. It can be nice for hand consistency if you have a bad card in your hand, but other than that, not sure. If we see a top deck manipulation card here, like tutor card, it can be nice. And I need to remember pincer maneuver, by the way. I am not sure about pincer maneuver. After drawing card, if you shuffle or send to top deck. If it is top deck, this can be so much better in that case. Okay, last NR card, Gwent. It is an epic card, so we still do not have the legendary card from NR. It is 3 body with 7 provision. It has Zeal with order, so you can use it as soon as you play. Boost all other units, not allied units, every unit on the board, with power equal to Gwent's power. So, you are gonna only boost all other units. For example, if you think this is gonna be 3, you are gonna only boost the units with 3 body. But you're gonna boost by the amount Gwent is boosted. So let's think about this. Everybody think about Shiro, of course. Instead of destroying them, this is boosting version of Shiro from Scoia'tael. So I think one of the best leader abilities with Gwent is Shield Wall, right? So think about it. Plus in deck. It's a good question. I don't think so. I mean, yes. It doesn't say boost all other units on board, but is Shiro say destroy all? I think Shiro says destroy all units too. But probably it is only boosting units on board. I am not sure, but it would be weird to boost in decks too. But yes, from the description, we cannot be sure about that. But it's a good question, to be honest. I'm talking about Shield Wall, because think about this. You play this with 3, you make it 5. If you have a lot of 5s, more 5s than your opponent, you're gonna boost all other 5 body units by 2. The another good part is here. Think about with Griffin Witcher Adapt. Because you can have a lot of 4 body units with Griffin Witcher Adapt, right? And for example, if you use talisman kind of stuff to make them 5 for Gwent into Shield Wall. Or you can use some... I forgot the name. There's an NR Syndicate card that boosts 3 units, adjacent 3 adjacent units by 1. You can even use that to make your force 5, for example. Boost all boosted tokens by 3. The other legendary, which legendary? The new card today. I think you are saying that, right? Okay, I don't see that card right now. We can see that later. They can work together well, right? But yeah, I'm thinking, I mean, Gwent can be nice with either Shield Wall or maybe Uprising 2, to be honest. Maybe Uprising 2. Even you can try to play a Marine first without using its charge to make this 7, but 7 gonna be too... I think 5 is optimal for Gwent, because you can have a lot of 5s on board, mostly. And with either the help of Uprising or Shield Wall, you can have nice combos, to be honest. Volunteers with Uprising. Yes. It can be nice too. Yes, Talisman can be amazing too. I'm thinking about that. Talisman, because you can have a lot of force with the help of Griffin, which you adapt to. And it's gonna be a swarm deck, so it means Talisman 3s can be nice too. So you can play first Talisman, make a lot of 5, then play Gwent. And if you have some 3s too, you can use Shield Wall to make 1 or 2 of them 5 too. Then use it on Gwent and boost all the 5s. It can be amazing value, to be honest. It can be amazing value. Okay, this was end for NR. So it is time for Scoia'tael now. And Scoia'tael gonna have movement archetype mostly. Are these the all cards? Yeah. So 6 cards revealed so far. It is really a lot, I guess, than other factions. And let's check the first one. Making a bomb. It's a bomb category card, by the way. It's a special with 4 provision. Move an enemy unit to the other row. Give it bleeding 4. So it is 4/4/4. But also if it's a card, if it's an engine with melee lock, row lock, sorry, you can change the row too. It's gonna be amazing for against order cards or some engine cards too. If it is the only unit on that row, I mean, you send to the back row, for example, from front row, and if it is the only row in that, if it's the only card, if it's the only unit in that row, you are gonna damage it by 4 instead of giving 4 bleeding. So you can get just not for 4 turns, you can get 4 value in the same turn. So it is always 4/4/4, that's for sure. But row changing is amazing against row lock cards. And you can still use this most of the times for removal. I mean, think about it. Your opponent mostly, if your opponent have Magna Division, they're gonna start with Magna Division. So you can just kill Magna Division, for example. Yeah, mostly I like this movement stuff for Scoia'tael too, to be honest. With other cards, we're gonna show it better, I guess. So let's see, 5 provision card, Cat, Witcher, Mentor, 1 body, 5 provision. We have 2 stuff. 1, with deploy, boost self by the number of cards in this row. This is amazing. Even it is better than guard, right? The dwarf guard, because dwarf guard is only boost himself by the amount of dwarfs you have in that row, but this boost self by the number of cards in that row, even not unit, cards. Think about it. You can use traps, still gonna get a boost with this Cat Witcher Mentor. You can have some artifacts, right? You can get any other type of card in that row, and it means you're gonna get boost with deploy. And Adrenaline 4, whenever a card appears in this row, boost self by 1. So you play this earlier. I mean, you cannot start with this anyway, because you need some cards in that row. You play this, get deploy ability. Then after Adrenaline 4, which means you have 5 cards and play 1 card, so Adrenaline 4, you have 4 turns to get extra value. In that 4 turns, whenever a card appears in that row, it's gonna boost self by 1. So for your next 4 card, if you play that row, you're gonna get extra value in Cat Witcher Mentor. But also, we talk about this, I think, when this card mentioned. Deadeye Ambush. You can, with spawn Deadeye cards, spawn elf cards, you're gonna get boost on Cat Witcher Mentor. And you also, it's gonna be hard, but for example, think about the Zoltan's Company. You're gonna get 3 boost, I guess, because with Zoltan's Company you play 3 roll the doors to the same row. It's gonna be too crowded probably, but it's gonna be okay. Another thing is, you can have some cards that change row between turns. For example, think about it. If you play Trentboard, right? Every 2 turns, you play Trentboard to the row of Cat Witcher Mentor, and Cat Witcher Mentor gonna get value if it is Adrenaline 4 time. And we're gonna see some other cards that change rows and return to. It's gonna be amazing. For 5 provision, it is amazing, to be honest. Other 5 provision card has 3 body, Cat Witcher Saboteur this time. This has deployability to move an enemy unit. It is only work with enemies to the leftmost position on its row. Think about it. There are 5 cards. You choose one of them and move to the leftmost side, and damage it by 1 for every card it passed. So it has not an adrenaline threshold, so you can play whenever you want with same value. To get more value, you need to play this later in that round, right? And your opponent mostly play units to the same row. I mean, I think if you get 4 and 5 damage, it's gonna be amazing. But it is not easy. It's not gonna be easy to use it for removal, to be honest. Because to kill anything with 4 or 5, first thing, there should be six cards in that row. 6 cards, so you can play the rightmost card to the leftmost with just changing with 5 cards. It's not gonna be easy. It is bad as removal, but it is good to get value. Why? Because first, you move an enemy. If you have some synergies with movement enemy, you are gonna get extra value. Think about Dolblatana sentries, right? Whenever you play an enemy, it's gonna damage by 1. So it has that synergy also. And after 6 and even 5 or 6 turns, even if you get 3 to 4 damage, it's gonna be still 6 for 5, 7 for 5, maybe 8 for 5, and it's gonna be enough for this 5 provision card, to be honest. And the extra synergies with sentry kind of stuffs, the other movement stuffs, maybe we are gonna see some other cards too. That's gonna be good for 5 provision card, I guess. Because think about it, if it seems after this expansion, when you create a Scoia'tael deck with this card, you're gonna focus for whole movement. That means it's gonna make this card even so much better if you solemnly play the movement archetype with that deck. Now it is time for a Cat Witcher, another 5 provision card, this time with 4 body. At the end of your turn, move self to the other row and damage a random enemy on the opposite row by 1. So this is the card I'm talking about. This is always gonna change the rows. So think about it, if you have Cat Witcher Mentor in both rows, they're gonna get 1 boost every time Cat Witcher moves to their row. And think about it, this Cat Witcher card is amazing with Matrons too, right? It's gonna be amazing with Matrons too, because think about it, I have Matron on front row. If Cat Witcher is in the back row, I can play even card to the back row, still my Matron gonna get value because Cat Witcher at the end of my turn gonna move to the front row and then a Matron goes to the rightmost and give value. The thing is here, always keep that in mind. In Gwent, the resolution of abilities resolve first in the front row, then back row, and from left to the right, okay? Hey brother, how are you? So let's talk about my Matron setup. If Matron... Yes, if Matron is in the back row and Cat Witcher is in the front row, at the end of your turn, the front row gonna resolve first, so your Cat Witcher goes to the back row, and then back row gonna resolve and your Matron gonna move to the rightmost of that row and boost Cat Witcher by 1. So you have to think that. My focus... thank you for the update. Thank you, brother. So that's gonna be the thing. But with Matrons on board, with Cat Witcher Mentors on board, and with Dolblatana Sentries on board, Cat Witcher gonna be amazing. And all the movement stuff, that's gonna be really nice. I like this. I like this. And by the way, it's not enough. After Adrenaline 4, after you have 4 cards left in your hand, instead of damaging by 1, the opposite row unit, it's gonna damage by 2. So if your opponent cannot give an answer, it's gonna get better and better in the last part of the round, to be honest. It's gonna be really nice. And our epic card, first epic. We have 2 epics so far, we didn't see the legendary. Gaitan, it is 5/7 provision card, an epic card. With deploy, you're gonna move the other cards from this row to the other row. Ooh. With Sentry, this is gonna be amazing again. Cat Witcher, gonna be amazing. I mean, it's gonna be hard to control the number of cards on your rows, I guess. Because every card you move, you're gonna get extra value, because you're gonna damage a random enemy unit for each card moved by 1. Okay? Damage a random enemy unit for each card by 1. So it's gonna choose 1 enemy, and if you move 3 cards, it's gonna damage that enemy 3. Okay? You're not gonna get random damages by 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. No, it's gonna choose a random enemy unit for each card moved by 1. I think that seems like that. So to get extra value, for example, 4 cards in the back row, 5 cards in the front row. You're gonna play this to the 4 cards row, so all of them moves to the front row. I think while playing this movement, Dragoon's gonna be amazing too, to be honest. Dragoon's gonna be amazing too, because you want to control the number of cards in your rows. So self movement with Dragoons can be amazing, and maybe guerrilla tactics can be necessary too, to get values more efficiently with this kind of cards and combos, to be honest. It's gonna be more important to control your rows. But I like that, because, I don't know, movement suits Scoia'tael amazingly as a faction. And I like this. And when you think about Cat Witcher school, yeah, movement, agility, that's what you need, to be honest. Last card, Brehen, this time. Okay, I hope we're gonna see the tooltip. Nice. Another epic card, 4 body for 8 provision. With deploy, you're gonna destroy the rightmost unit on enemy row with at least 5 units. So, there's Adrenaline 3 catch up to. Let's read that too. Destroy the rightmost units on enemy row with at least 3 units instead. So, because after the expansion, your opponent gonna know that if you play Scoia'tael with movement, you're gonna get Brehen in your deck, for example. So they're gonna try to play, think about it, 4 cards back row, 4 cards front row. So you're not gonna play Brehen early, maybe. But the thing is, after Adrenaline 3, instead of checking 5 units, you can check for 3 units too. But you can only destroy the rightmost unit. So your opponent always try to keep the rightmost unit with a bad bronze card. So, I don't know, it is weird. It can be only nice, as I told you, maybe with guerrilla tactics. Because think about it, when you play guerrilla tactics, the card you're gonna send to the other row gonna be always rightmost, so you can kill it. Brehen is insane. Is it insane, really? I mean, we can think like this. We're gonna have more movement than our opponent. Even if we, I mean, think about it. We use guerrilla tactics as leader ability, for example. We use dragoons. But, think about it. If we use, for example, dragoons, if we move a unit to the rightmost we want to destroy, he needs to play his card to stop that unit to be killed if he really wants that to be safe. In that way it can be nice. But if you don't play with guerrilla tactics, it's not gonna be easy to kill whatever you want with Brehen. Yes, with guerrilla tactics, that's right. With just one charge, you can just kill whatever you want. That's the right thing. But do you really always want to play guerrilla tactics with this movement stuff? That's the question. Yes, against Scoia'tael you can have row stack, but this is the thing, after Adrenaline 3, even just 3 units in that row gonna be enough. The keyword is rightmost here. That's why your opponent tried to place a safe against, to be honest. I mean, if I play against movement Scoia'tael, I always try to keep the rightmost card with bronze, bad bronzes, to be honest. But if it's guerrilla tactics, I know that I cannot do anything, still try to play leftmost mostly or between. But with just one leader charge, he can make that card rightmost into the other row and he can just kill it. That's the thing. Yes, Milana gonna be amazing. You are so right. Milana gonna be amazing. And Milana gonna be better than Dragoons because it gives you the chance to just make the movement stuff in the same turn you're gonna play Brehen, right? Yes, Milana gonna be must-have probably. So, especially gonna be so much better if you choose not to play with guerrilla tactics. Milana gonna be so much important. But I think if you play Brehen too, I mean maybe you choose to play movement but not to play Brehen, for example, you can play with other leader ability than guerrilla tactics. But I think if you choose to have Brehen in your deck too, it is better to play guerrilla tactics leader ability and definitely Milana in your deck, deck too, to be honest. It's gonna be so important. That's right. I really wonder the legendary card from Scoia'tael. Legendary card with movement. Because this all movement stuff, which means you're gonna have some row stacks too. We still do not have also the Probably this is gonna be a special card that's gonna give Witcher tokens. This is gonna be 4 or 5 provisions, so it's gonna be Witcher tokens create card probably. Otherwise it's gonna be legendary or really high provision card, because this is gonna be more than 8 or 9 plus cards. How many Skellige cards we have? 1 here, 6 here, 7 Skellige cards revealed so far. It's always 7/4/4. Let's see. Beer Witcher Adapt. 4 provision, 7 body. With deploy, you're gonna damage self by 4. So as soon as you play, it is 3/4/4. But at the end of your turn, you're gonna heal self by 1. So it is 5/4/4. Okay? 5/4/4. If your opponent kills it. If your opponent not gonna touch it, sorry, it is 4/4/4 as soon as you play. But if your opponent not gonna kill it, it's gonna be 7/4/4 eventually. And after that, it's gonna keep getting 1 armor if it's have full body. Another good part is with Beer Witcher Adapt. If your opponent somehow using random damages, as soon as that random damage hits Beer Witcher Adapt, at the end of your turn, it's gonna heal himself too. It's gonna be used. And wow, Portal, it is 14 with Portal. You are right. I mean, if you have no more 4 provisions, it's gonna be amazing. You are right. Music Scoia'tael Cards Cat Skull Adapt. Special 4/4/4. So it is the Witcher token card probably, right? Yeah, it's gonna be really nice for provision card. I didn't expect less from Skellige, to be honest. Okay, raid card, raid special with 5 provision, armor up, damage an enemy unit by 2. Isn't Beer Witcher Adapt versus Magni? Yes, but I mean, this is the catch here. You know that Magna Division gonna get more value, right? This is the thing. You know that Magna Division gonna get more value, so you're not gonna hesitate to use your removal for Magna Division. But if you have, I mean, not much number of removals in your hand, just 1 or 2, for example, 4 or 5 damages. Instead of using that for Beer Witcher Mentor, you want to keep that for other engines. For example, after this, maybe your opponent can play a Demon Ship, right? It can be so much better to kill Demon Ship instead of this, for example, because think about it, they're gonna have self-damage, not even self-damage, the damage units kind of archetype. So you want to keep that for that. Which means it can be, most of the times it's gonna be so much better to keep your removals something else instead of Beer Witcher Mentor. So that's what makes this better, maybe it's time to time better than Magna Division. Because Magna Division is a must kill as soon as your opponent play, but this, your opponent not gonna think like that. So this can get always 7/4/4 most of the times. If your opponent not gonna play whole removal package, whole kind of removal deck, he's gonna keep that on board, to be honest. Beer Adapt is not good with Portal. We have similar point evolution with Portal on Cadwany Knight, and no one plays it. Yes, we have same thing with monsters. No, not with monsters. With monsters, you lose devotion. And yeah, you have armors too, and armor's gonna be at some point gonna be nice too. We're gonna see that. Okay, we were talking about armor up. So you're gonna damage an enemy unit by 2. Okay. Then, for example, that enemy unit on front row. Okay, your opponent melee row. You're gonna damage that opponent on melee row 2, then you're gonna spawn 3 with your student on the opposite row, your melee row, okay? You're gonna get 3 with your student with 2 bodies. First you're gonna damage them, so you're gonna have 1 bodies, then you're gonna give them 1 armor. So in total, you deal 2 damage and you got 3 bodies. So it is 5/4/5. Good parts here. We're gonna see that most of other cards gonna have synergy with number of damage units. So with armor up, you get 3 damage units in the same time. It's gonna help with that archetype and with that synergy, to be honest. We're gonna see that with other cards now. Beer Witcher Mentor, 5 provision, 4 body, 1 armor. With deploy, you're gonna boost self by 1 for every damage allied unit. For example, after this armor up, if you play Beer Witcher Mentor, you're gonna get 3 boost, right? Because you're gonna boost self by 1 for every damage allied unit. But there's another thing here. With Adrenaline 3, boost self by 1 for every damage unit instead. So, with Arbor of Kind of setups, you can have your own damage allied units, and then think about it. You can maybe play Wild Boar a little early, okay? A little early. Wild Boar, think about it. You play Wild Boar not last say but before last say. And after that, you finish the game with Beer Witcher Mentor. So you get boost for every damage unit on your opponent's side because of Wild Boar and every other thing. And then you can also boost for every allied unit on your board too. The things you get with Armor Up, for example. So it's gonna be amazing finisher too, to be honest. So with other cards too, we're gonna see that time to time we're gonna see Wild Boar gonna play not last say, but before last say, and even sometimes the third card before last say. I don't say Beer Adapt is bad, just is not good enough Portal target. Yeah. I mean, that's for sure. I don't think Portal gonna find good plays anymore. As soon as we saw 7 body, we talk about Portal. Maybe in some kind of Lippy decks, maybe we can use this. But in the archetype we are gonna get with this expansion, definitely it's not gonna be a Portal kind of target. Definitely, that's the right thing to say. Okay, let's see Beer Witcher. 8 body, 5 provision. We already have 8 body for 5 provision. So, the catch. Deploy damage self by 3. So it's gonna be 5 for 5. But if you play this with Adrenaline 4 as the 5th card in your hand, damage self and enemy unit by 3. So it's gonna be 8 for 5. And also, you are still gonna have a damage unit for future plays like Beer Witcher Mentor. The synergy you have, the archetype, the thing you are trying to get, high number of damage enemies and high number of damage allied units too, to be honest. That's the thing. And with Adrenaline 4 you can get that too. You can get damage allied unit, damage opponent too. It's gonna be amazing for Beer Witcher Mentor, for example. And yeah, battle train. Everything for battle trains. You can even use this kind of armor up kind of stuffs with battle trance, to be honest, because you have, every time you play alchemy, you heal 1 unit by 1 random unit. That's thing too. Let's see Gert, a Witcher, a pick card, 8 body, 7 provision. With deploy, this is really nice Adrenaline work, by the way. With deploy, you're gonna spawn a deafening siren, 1 body siren. 2 body siren, right? They have 2 body, if I remember correctly. These are the same sirens you get with what was that leader? I forgot the name. The bald guy. These are the same sirens you get when you play that, I guess. Spawn a deafening siren on the opposite row and damage all units on that row by 1. Okay, so think about it. Oh, your opponent has 6 cards. You play a siren, so -2. Then you deal 7 damage, right? It is +5. +5, 8 body. It is 13 for 7. It is amazing. It is amazing. But there is the catch here. With Adrenaline 4, it means in a 10 card round, if you play this card while you have 5 cards in your hand, Gerd included, then you're gonna spawn a deafening siren again on the opposite row, but you are gonna only damage it by 1, not the other cards. So always you need to play Gerd in a 10 card round in your first 5 card. At best, even if you have last say, and even if your opponent play all the cards in the same row, I mean, if it is not a spam deck, if it's not a swarm deck, you can find 6 targets, so you can get 4 extra damage value. It is 12 for 7, but it's still amazing. It is still amazing. The idea with Gert here, it is the setup for future Wild Boar, and it's the setup for future Beer Witcher mentor value. You need to think this as a setup card. Gert gonna be a setup card for your last two cards. One of them gonna be Wild Boar, and one of them gonna be Beer Witcher mentor. That's why it's gonna be a good card. And especially if your opponent somehow swarms, it's gonna be perfect extra value too, to be honest. Oh, sorry, we have one more. We have also a legendary one, Nilfgaard. It's a 7 with 10 provision. Deploy. Gain 1 armor for every damaged unit. Ally, enemy, doesn't matter. Gain 1 armor for every damaged unit. What happens? With Adrenaline 4, when your opponents play a unit, so think about it. Adrenaline 4. You play your 5th card, it is Adrenaline 4 and you pass. It is your opponent's turn now, okay? And think about it. You play this as your 5th card, so you gain 1 armor for every damage unit. Think about it. How many armor we should get? We play Gert. We have 5, let's say 4 enemy target. No, we can easily have 4 enemy units damage. If we play armor up, we have 3 here, 7. If we play ship kind of stuff, 8 maybe. Let's say 7, okay? Let's say 7. As soon as we play Nilfgaard, we have 7 bodies, 7 armor. Okay? Remember about Sucrus. Oh, Sucrus gonna be amazing with this card. Okay. Even without Sucrus, let's talk the without Sucrus part first. We have 7 armor, okay? It is easy to reach that number. 7 body, 7 armor. We pass. We have 4 cards. Opponent's turn. He play a card. He play a unit. We're gonna damage that unit by Nilfgaard's power by 7. If we have no other boost kind of stuff, we are gonna damage that unit by 7. And then Nilfgaard gonna get a damage by that unit's power. Here's the part. We have 7 armor already. So if it is monsters, he can try to play a really tall unit. And try to kill this, but even it's gonna be 14. The catch here is, if your opponent have some, luck can be nice, hit wave can be nice. You cannot kill this with Geralt kind of stuffs, because this is gonna have 7 body. It is shorter than 9. It's gonna be amazing too. Geralt, Gwent, Graces restored. What are we talking about? It's gonna be nice, but with Sucrus, this is gonna be amazing. You are right. I think it could be the perfect way to play this with Sucrus together. If this is in the left card of Sucrus, it's never gonna get damage, and you can just damage the last 4 cards your opponent gonna play. Can be amazing. Okay, last faction, Syndicate. Okay. Yeah, Syndicate, this card's gonna be from Stolen Mutagens, it seems. Let's see. Let's check the first card. 0 value, last 4 cards of play. Oof. Yeah, it's gonna be really weird. I mean, we don't know. Maybe last cards our opponent gonna play not gonna be only units. Maybe 3 of them gonna be specials. Maybe. Or think about this too. Wait for a second. Yeah. Still is gonna be good. Okay, Syndicate time. Let's see. 5 provision, a crime card, also Salamandra. You are gonna pick a mutagen. Red. This one, red mutagen. You are gonna damage an unit by 4. Okay. You can choose the blue one. This one. You can poison an allied unit and gain 5 coins. We are gonna see that all Syndicate gonna be mostly about self-poison. It is about sacrifice, mostly. And you can poison a light unit and get 5 coin. So red is 4. So you get 5 for 4. Blue is you get 5 coin and you can get poison synergy. And or you can use the green one. Boost a light unit by 4 and give it fail. And also, if you control at least 3 Salamandra units, you can profit 3 too. At first this is 4 for 5. At first, But if you have Salamandra, you can make it 7 for 5 or 8 for 5 with blue. If you also can get extra poison, self-poisoning value too. It's gonna be a nice card. It's also crime, work with tutors, and there's also Salamandra tag too. It can be nice for other stuff maybe, this tag. Read flavor text of mutagens. Okay, in that order, in ability order, red, blue, green. Okay, let's see. Roses are red, violets are blue, I have a green mutagen for you. Oh, I like that, it's amazing. Thanks for the hint. Thanks for the hint. Okay, let's see. Let's see the other cards now with Syndicate. Yes. We have 4 more cards now. I know, Fiora, I know. That's what I thought, but yeah, it is just Turkish. No one understands that. Okay, first thing, 5 provision, 5 bodies. Salamandra Abomination. It is Beast, it is Mutant, it is Salamandra. With Tribute 1, you can poison self. You're not getting any coin with playing this, so you need to have a purse with coins. If you decide to use Tribute 1, if you decide to spend 1 coin, you're gonna poison self. And this is the catch. Whenever this unit is poisoned, boost self by 2. So, you play this, you spend 1 coin, you poison Abomination, and you get 2 body. So you get extra 1 value, it is 6 for 5. The catchy part. Adrenaline 4. When you have 4 cards left, at the end of your turns, it's gonna purify self. Why this is important? Because at the end of your turn, it's gonna purify, and when your turn comes, you can poison again this Abomination, and you can get 2 body. If you're sure that your opponent not gonna play poison deck, if it is not Nilfgaard, if it is not Poison Scoia'tael, if it is not Salamandra Mirror Game, Syndicate Mirror Game, you can just safely play safe poison. I mean, I'm not thinking about Defender right now, okay? Let's think without Defender. Because after the last 4 turns, it's gonna purify self and you're gonna poison against. Because we have already self-poison card, right? Fistech Traffickers. And Fistech Traffickers are good because when you just poison this Salamandra Abomination, you're gonna get 2 boost on this card, but also you're gonna get 3 coins from Fistech Traffickers because self-poison. It's gonna be amazing, and we have some other self-poison stuff too. So it's gonna be a real nice engine for 5 provision. I really like it. I really like it for 5 provision. I like mostly 5 provision engine cards, engine slots in decks, in factions. I like this too. The other 5 provision card has 9 body. So there should be a catch. Failed Experiment, Human, Mutant, and Salamandra. As you see, this archetype, because of this kind of self-poisoning, sacrificial stuff, we have Salamandra, of course. So most of all the cards gonna be Salamandra, which means you are gonna most of the times gonna control at least 3 Salamandra, so you can get extra value from stolen mutagens. And see that with blue mutagen also we can poison Abomination, and 5 coins can be 7. And if we profit 3 to, it's gonna be 10 for 5. It's gonna be amazing. Think about this. This stolen mutagen with blue mutagen on Abomination, it can be 10 for 5. It is amazing. It is amazing value. 10 for 5, that's amazing. So, what is the catch here with Failed Experiment? At the end of your turn, you're gonna lose 1 coin. If you have no coins, you're gonna damage yourself by 1 instead. But if this unit is poisoned, you're gonna disable this ability. So, you cannot poison as soon as you play Failed Experiment, so you're gonna either lose 1 coin or 1 body, which means it is 8 for 5. Next turn you can give a poison, so it is 8 for 5, right? That's the thing. Because you don't want to lose coin for this card, I guess, because it is the same thing. The good part is here, as soon as you play it is 8 for 5, so your opponent cannot kill it with Witcher Vanilla, Witcher Geralt Professional, Geralt Vanilla kind of stuff, toll removal stuff. That's also nice too, to be honest. I like that. Yeah, I like Failed Experiment too. It is really nice. It is synergy with coins, self damage, self-poisoning. It is really good. It is really good. And I don't like that we already have self-poison cards in game. Both targets, we didn't use the self-poison bronze cards in Syndicate so far, but Fistek Traffickers, that was already in game, and I really like the synergy now Fistek Traffickers gonna get with this expansion. Roland Blenheim, epic card 747. Whenever a unit is poisoned, gain 2 coins. So you want to play this early, right? 845 even, yes, it is amazing. It is amazing. Whenever a unit is poisoned, gain 2 coins. So this is our coin engine, we can say, because we are playing self-poison, right? We have 2 Fistek Traffickers for self-poison. We have 2 Stolen Mutagens for self-poison. We already have 4 self-poison cards, right? So if you play Roland early, whenever you poison, by the way, this is the good part here. Whenever a unit is poisoned, I mean self-poison, you are gonna get 2 coins. If you play offensive poison too, with our Fisteks, with our mutated hounds, you are gonna get 2 coins too. But after Adrenaline 5, not whenever a unit poisoned, but whenever an allied unit is poisoned, you are gonna get 2 coins. So if somehow you created a deck with both poison removal and self-poison, with early Roland play, you can get coins with offensive poisons, and then after Adrenaline 5, you can turn into self-poison stuff, and you can keep getting 2 coins too. So it's gonna be, in that case, even in most cases, it's gonna be still better than, what was the lady's name? Imke. Seriously. It's gonna be amazing. It is really nice. And I hope we are gonna get some other self-poisoning stuff too. We need some more, I mean, 4 is not enough, I guess. We need 1 or 2 more self-poison options. Not targets, but because we only have 2 bronzes for self-poison targets. This is self-poison target. These 2 gonna be self-poison targets. If we have at least 1 more self-poisoning tool, it's gonna be amazing. By the way, I forgot it, but even we can use Fistek. I don't remember. Is Fistek is poison an enemy unit or poison a unit? I am not sure right now, to be honest. We need to check that later. Okay, last card of the day. Fallen Ryla. Legendary Human Mutant Salamandra. It is a poisoner unit, right? Yes. Yes, then we have 3 tools for self-poisoning. It is amazing. 5 body, 11 provision. We profit 3. Tribute is 3 too, so we can just use the coins we are gonna get with Fallen Ryla, and we can gain Whale. Why gaining Whale is important? Because Fallen Ryla, that's gonna be huge. With Adrenaline 3, so what means you have 4 cards in your hand and you start playing this, you have Adrenaline 3. Whenever you pay a tribute ability, boost self by that tribute's cost. This was what we told as soon as this card revealed, right? It's gonna be amazing with, thanks Brazar, thank you too for the info. This is gonna be really amazing with Savalla's Frightener. Madame Louisa into Savalla's, I mean, if you use Madame Louisa with Savalla's Frightener tribute cost, is this still gonna think that that tribute is paid or not? And yes, Timbo is amazing too. Madame Louisa, Savalla, Timboy. If you just play them as last 3-4 cards, oof, even just with one of them, I don't know. It's gonna be amazing. And we have our coin source with, think about it, we have our coin source with Roland too. This is amazing. It's gonna be really nice. So we check all the cards. This is the end for YouTube part. It was a really long, it's gonna be a really long video, I guess, because we just reviewed more than 40 cards, I guess. So on the next part, I'm gonna make that as late as possible too, I guess. To maybe next Monday we can do it, I don't know. But yeah, on the second part, we're gonna check them too. Allegedly, she doesn't work with Luisa. Yeah, I think about that. I think about that because it says whenever you pay a tribute with Madame Luisa, you are not paying that tribute, right? It is free, which means yeah, without Madame Luisa, this is gonna work. So we can say that this is one-time boost maybe. It's gonna still be for. I mean, it is one-time boost. Even with 9, it's gonna be 14 for 11. Just gonna be meh. Question is, can you get... I mean, no, it's still gonna be good. Think about it. You have 4 cards left. One of them is Savola's Frightener. Until last say, if you get coin between this last say, it's gonna be good. I don't know if you can use Fallen Ryla while Jack's in that, because Jack's have 4 tribute too. And there are some good cards that have tribute and profit together, right? And think about it. If you play this with Adrenaline 3, also you're gonna get 3 boost too, by the way. Right? Think about this. If you play this with Adrenaline 3, it's gonna be 8 for 11 already. You're gonna play it 8 for 11, and even with Savola, it's gonna be 17 for 11, and it's gonna be amazing. Yes. So this is gonna be the end of YouTube part, I guess. Thanks for watching, and see you in next video. If you're not gonna add anything else, I think yeah, this was the last part.